The USA is not only known for its haunted states, but many of its towns are also filled with chilling ghost stories and paranormal activity. From historic battlefields to old mining towns, these places are home to haunted hotels, creepy cemeteries, and mysterious legends. Shadows, whispers, and ghostly figures have been reported by visitors and locals alike, making these towns some of the scariest spots in America for those who dare to explore. Now we will visit the most haunted towns in the USA. Number 1. Salem, Massachusetts. Salem, Massachusetts, is often called the most haunted town in the USA. Its streets are filled with dark history, terrifying legends, and ghostly stories that have lasted for centuries. The town became famous in 1692 during the Salem witch trials, when fear and superstition took over. Over 200 people were accused of practicing witchcraft. 19 were hanged, and one man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death with heavy stones. Many believe the spirits of these victims still haunt Salem today. One of the most haunted places in Salem is the Witch House, once the home of Judge Jonathan Corwin, who played a key role in the trials. Visitors report cold spots, strange lights, footsteps when no one is there, and a heavy feeling as if the air itself is filled with sorrow and fear. Some say they have seen ghostly figures inside the rooms or felt a presence standing near them. Another terrifying location is Gallows Hill, where the hangings took place. Though the exact spot is debated, many believe it is haunted by the souls of those who were executed. People often report sudden chills, shadowy shapes moving through the trees, and strange sounds like whispering voices and soft cries in the night. Howard Street Cemetery is the resting place of Giles Corey. Legend says that he cursed the town with his dying breath, and his ghost appears before disaster strikes Salem. People claim to see him walking slowly through the cemetery, especially during stormy nights. A dark, heavy presence surrounds the graveyard, and many locals avoid it after dark. The Old Burying Point Cemetery is one of the oldest graveyards in the United States and is said to be one of the most haunted. Judges from the witch trials are buried here, and visitors often hear voices, see strange lights, and feel unseen hands touching them. Ghostly figures have been spotted wandering between the graves, and some tourists have captured orbs and shadows in their photos. The Hawthorne Hotel is another haunted landmark. Built in the 1920s, it has a long history of ghost sightings. Room 325 is considered the most haunted, where guests report flickering lights, furniture moving by itself, and the sound of footsteps in empty hallways. Some guests say they felt someone touching them or pulling their blankets while they slept. Even downtown shops and restaurants in Salem are haunted. Staff have heard voices, seen doors open and close on their own, and even witnessed ghostly children running through empty rooms. Many buildings stand on land connected to the witch trials or old burial grounds, which may explain the paranormal activity. The Salem Witch Museum, which tells the tragic story of the trials, is also said to be haunted. People have reported feeling cold drafts, seeing shadows in the corners, and feeling watched by something unseen. Salem is more than just a historic town. It's a place where the past refuses to stay buried. Every corner seems to hold a secret. Every building has a story, and many believe the spirits of the innocent still cry out for justice. It's truly America's most haunted town. Number 2. New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, Louisiana, is often called the most haunted town in the USA, and for good reason. This historic city is known for its rich culture, jazz music, voodoo roots, and above all, its terrifying ghost stories. The streets of the French Quarter are filled with tales of spirits, haunted mansions, restless souls, and dark history that never fades. One of the most haunted places in New Orleans is the LaLaurie Mansion, located in the French Quarter. This grand house once belonged to Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a wealthy socialite with a deadly secret. In 1834, a fire revealed her torture chamber, where enslaved people were kept in chains, starved, and brutally experimented on. The horrors found inside shocked the city. Today, people report hearing screams, footsteps, and cries from the empty building. Some say the ghostly victims still wander the halls, and the evil spirit of Madame LaLaurie herself remains trapped inside. Another terrifying location is St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, the oldest cemetery in the city. The most famous ghost here is Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen of New Orleans. People visit her tomb to leave offerings, hoping she'll grant wishes from beyond the grave. But some visitors report seeing her ghost walking among the tombs, dressed in bright colors and wearing a red headscarf. Cold spots, strange smells, and ghostly touches are also common here. The Bourbon Orleans Hotel is another hotspot for paranormal activity. It was once a convent, orphanage, and hospital during yellow fever outbreaks. Today, guests report seeing a dancing ghost girl in the ballroom, a Confederate soldier in the halls, and nuns silently walking through the corridors. Many hear children crying, doors slamming, and whispers late at night. The Andrew Jackson Hotel is filled with haunted stories. It was once a boys' boarding school, and a fire in the 18th century killed 5 young boys. Now, guests claim to hear the boys laughing, running, and playing tricks, especially in room 208. Some even wake up to find toys moved or furniture slightly shifted. Pirates Alley, near the St. Louis Cathedral, is home to ghostly legends of pirates and smugglers. The spirit of the famous pirate Jean Lafitte is said to walk these streets at night, his ghostly figure seen in the shadows, vanishing when approached. Even New Orleans' beautiful homes are haunted. The Gardette La Prairie mansion is known for a gruesome story where an entire group of people was found murdered inside, some with their heads severed. Neighbors report flickering lights, screaming, and figures staring out from the windows. The city is also full of voodoo shops and museums where visitors feel strange energies, hear chants, and see unexplained movements. New Orleans is not just a city, it's a living ghost story. With every step down its cobbled streets, every glance into its old buildings, you might come face to face with a ghost from the past. Its haunting beauty and terrifying tales make it one of the most haunted towns in all of America. Number 3. St. Augustine, Florida. St. Augustine, Florida is known as the oldest city in the United States and one of the most haunted. Founded in 1565 by Spanish settlers, it has over 450 years of history filled with battles, plagues, pirates, and tragedy. With so much death and suffering, it's no surprise that St. Augustine is considered one of the most terrifying and haunted towns in America. One of the most famous haunted places in St. Augustine is the St. Augustine Lighthouse. This tall black and white striped lighthouse may look peaceful during the day, but at night it becomes a ghostly nightmare. Visitors and workers have reported seeing shadowy figures, hearing the sound of children laughing or crying, and smelling smoke when there's no fire. The ghosts of 2 young sisters who drowned near the lighthouse are said to haunt the stairs, along with the spirit of a former lighthouse keeper who died on the job. Another chilling location is the Castillo de San Marcos, the old Spanish fortress that has stood for centuries. This massive stone structure has seen war, death, and imprisonment. Visitors often hear ghostly voices, footsteps in empty halls, and feel cold spots. A famous story tells of a Spanish soldier who haunts the fort, still searching for his lost love. There's also a sealed room in the fort where the skeletons of a cheating wife and her lover were allegedly found, both said to haunt the area to this day. The old jail in St. Augustine is one of the creepiest places in town. Built in 1891, it housed violent criminals in terrible conditions. Many were hanged on sight. Today, tourists report hearing chains rattling, ghostly moaning, and even feeling unseen hands grab or push them. Some have seen full-body apparitions of prisoners in striped uniforms or angry guards pacing the halls. The Huguenot Cemetery, located just outside the old city gates, is another terrifying location. This cemetery was used during yellow fever outbreaks in the 1800s, and many were buried in mass graves. Visitors report seeing ghostly figures near the gates and feeling watched by something invisible. One of the most famous spirits here is Judge John Stickney, whose grave was disturbed in the early 1900s. People say his angry ghost still haunts the area, especially around his final resting place. The St. Francis Inn, the oldest inn in St. Augustine, is said to be haunted by the ghost of a servant girl named Lily, who took her own life after a tragic love affair. Guests have seen her figure in mirrors, felt her presence in their rooms, and smelled her perfume when no one else is around. Even walking through the old cobblestone streets at night feels eerie. Ghost tours are popular here, and many visitors leave with chilling experiences they can't explain. Shadows move without a source, whispers are heard in the wind, and cold air rushes through even on hot nights. St. Augustine's beauty hides a haunted soul. With its long, violent history and countless ghost sightings, it's truly one of the most haunted towns in the United States. Number 4. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, is known not only for its role in American history, but also as one of the most haunted towns in the USA. It was the site of the Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863, one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War. Over 50,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or went missing during 3 days of brutal fighting. The town and its surrounding fields became a place of death, pain, and suffering, and many believe that the spirits of those soldiers never left. One of the most haunted places in Gettysburg is the Gettysburg battlefield itself. People often report hearing ghostly gunfire, the sound of marching boots, and even screams in the night. Some have seen shadowy figures of soldiers standing still, then disappearing into thin air. The Devil's Den, a rocky battlefield area, is especially known for ghost sightings. Visitors have seen phantom soldiers sitting on the rocks or standing among the boulders. Many take photos only to find strange orbs, mists, or figures that weren't visible in person. Another terrifying location is the Farnsworth House Inn. During the battle, Confederate sharpshooters used the attic of this house. Bullet holes still cover the walls. Guests at the inn have reported the spirit of a young Confederate soldier walking through the hallways. Others have heard footsteps on the stairs, voices whispering in the night, and even the sounds of children crying. One ghost, believed to be a little boy named Jeremy, is said to move toys and touch people while they sleep. The Jenny Wade house is also haunted. Jenny Wade was the only civilian killed during the battle. A stray bullet hit her while she was baking bread for Union soldiers. Her home is now a museum, but visitors often say they feel sudden cold spots, hear soft footsteps, or see a shadowy woman believed to be Jenny. Some even claim to smell fresh bread baking, though no oven is in use. The Gettysburg Orphanage, which housed children left parentless after the war, is another chilling sight. The headmistress, Rosa Carmichael, was cruel to the children. She kept them in a dark, underground dungeon as punishment. People now hear cries and screams from the basement. Some claim to see small, ghostly hands reaching through the darkness, and many refuse to enter the cellar alone. The sacks-covered bridge, used by both Union and Confederate troops, is another haunted spot. It's said that 3 Confederate soldiers were hanged here for desertion. People report seeing hanging figures in the fog, hearing the sound of footsteps on the wooden bridge, and even smelling smoke or gunpowder. At night, the entire town seems to come alive with ghostly activity. Locals and tourists alike share stories of cold winds, mysterious lights, and voices calling out from empty fields. Many believe the spirits are still fighting, still lost, or simply unable to move on. Gettysburg is not just a historic town. It is a living reminder of the past, filled with spirits of those who never left. It's truly one of the most haunted places in America. Number 5. Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia is widely known as one of the most haunted towns in the USA. With its moss-covered oak trees, cobblestone streets, and centuries-old buildings, Savannah may look charming, but beneath the beauty lies a dark and haunted history. Founded in 1733, the city has seen war, deadly diseases, slavery, fires, and storms, events that left behind lingering spirits and terrifying tales that still haunt the living today. One of the most haunted places in Savannah is the Sorrelweed House. Built in the 1840s, it's known for its ghostly activity. Visitors report hearing screams, footsteps, and whispers when no one is around. The most famous ghost here is that of Molly, an enslaved woman who was said to have had an affair with the master of the house. After being discovered, she either took her own life or was murdered. Her spirit is often seen in the servant quarters, crying or staring from windows with sorrowful eyes. Some also claim to see the ghost of the lady of the house, who died shortly after discovering the affair. Another terrifying location is the Moon River Brewing Company. This popular bar and restaurant is located in one of Savannah's oldest buildings, which once served as a hotel and hospital. Staff and guests often experience cold spots, bottles flying off shelves, and shadowy figures walking through walls. The basement is said to be haunted by a dark entity known only as Toby, who is aggressive and terrifying. The second floor, once used to treat yellow fever victims, is filled with ghostly children and moaning patients. The Colonial Park Cemetery is one of Savannah's oldest graveyards and is filled with ghost stories. During the Civil War, Union soldiers reportedly disturbed graves, and some even slept in tombs. Many headstones were moved or vandalized, and the spirits of the dead are said to be restless. People have captured strange photos with ghostly figures, orbs, and mists. Some visitors feel cold touches, hear whispers, or see figures in period clothing vanishing behind trees. The Marshall House, now a hotel, was once used as a hospital during yellow fever outbreaks and the Civil War. Guests staying here often report hearing children running through halls, faucets turning on by themselves, and feeling as if someone is watching them. During renovations, bones and surgical tools were found under the floorboards, likely left from the time it served as a field hospital. Wright Square is also said to be haunted, especially by the ghost of Alice Riley, a servant who was hanged in the 1700s for killing her cruel master. She was pregnant at the time and was hanged shortly after giving birth. Her ghost is often seen wandering the square, looking for her lost child. Savannah's beauty hides its chilling past. With ghost tours almost every night, locals and visitors alike share countless ghost stories passed down for generations. From haunted mansions to eerie cemeteries, Savannah is a city where the past is never truly gone. The spirits remain, and they have stories to tell. Number 6. Deadwood, South Dakota. Deadwood, South Dakota is one of the most haunted towns in the USA, where the Wild West never truly died. Founded during the Black Hills Gold Rush in the late 1800s, Deadwood was once filled with prospectors, gamblers, saloons, outlaws, and gunfights. With so much lawlessness, violence, and death, it's no surprise that the spirits of Deadwood's dark past still haunt the town today. Ghost sightings, eerie voices, and paranormal activity are common in this historic place where the line between the living and the dead often feels thin. One of the most haunted locations in Deadwood is the Bullock Hotel, named after Seth Bullock, the town's first sheriff. Seth was a respected lawman who tried to bring order to the rowdy town. After his death, many believe he never left. Guests and staff report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off, footsteps in empty hallways, doors opening by themselves, and even the appearance of a tall man in old-fashioned clothes, believed to be Bullock himself. Some say he watches guests from mirrors or appears briefly before vanishing into thin air. He's especially active when staff aren't doing their jobs properly, almost like he's still keeping the hotel in order. Another eerie place is the Fairmont Hotel, once a brothel and bar during Deadwood's wild days. It's known for its tragic past, including stories of murder, suicide, and heartbreak. Ghosts of former prostitutes and patrons are said to roam the halls. Visitors have reported the sound of women crying, ghostly laughter, and even phantom footsteps following them. One common story involves a woman named Margaret who jumped from a window after learning she was pregnant and abandoned. Her spirit is said to still appear in the room where she once stayed, filled with sadness and despair. Mount Moriah Cemetery, resting on a hill overlooking the town, is home to many of Deadwood's most famous figures, including Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. Visitors to the cemetery have experienced cold spots, felt sudden chills, and seen unexplained mists. Some claim to hear voices whispering among the gravestones or see shadowy figures moving between the trees. Many believe that Wild Bill's spirit is restless, still seeking justice for his untimely murder at a poker table in 1876. The Deadwood Historic Adams House is another haunted spot. This beautifully preserved Victorian mansion once belonged to W.E. Adams. Visitors often feel cold drafts, hear music playing from empty rooms, and see lights flickering. Some have reported seeing the ghost of a woman in period clothing standing by the staircase or looking out a window. Even walking the old streets of Deadwood at night can feel unsettling. Many visitors report a heavy feeling in the air, sudden drops in temperature, and a sense of being watched. Ghost tours are popular, and guests often leave with chilling experiences, photos with strange lights, unexplained voices on recordings, and stories of ghostly encounters. Deadwood's violent past left deep scars and many restless spirits. From haunted hotels to ghostly cemeteries, the town is a living reminder of its wild and deadly history. It remains one of the most haunted and mysterious towns in America.